What's up, Internet? Welcome to the YieldTomato channel, and we are bringing you another pickups video for 2015, making this the third video. I was originally just going to do strictly retro games for these pickups, but I came to the realization that I don't get large sums of retro stuff in the area we're in all at once. I usually get bits and pieces here and there throughout extended periods, so I've decided to include all of the modern pickups too. So let's get started. We're going to go with some of the older stuff though first. I managed to find, which is very hard to do, is find these two games actually locally, because so many people covet them, is Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island and Contra 3 Alien Wars. I have played only a little bit of Yoshi's Island. I really did enjoy what I played. Contra 3 I played a fair bit with one of my friends before I moved to California, when I was much younger. I never got to finish it. It was his game, so I figured, hey, now's a good time to pick this up. And Yoshi's Island, I always liked the art style, I always thought it was cute, and unlike most people, Mario's Crying didn't get to me that badly, so I feel like I have a pretty decent shot at finishing that one too when I actually get to it. So let's move right along to the next set of games we got here. Actually, I didn't pick these. These were actually ones my girlfriend picked out for herself, and that would be the Gardening Mama and Crafting Mama games for the DS. Let's face it, everybody likes WarioWare and mini games and micro games and such like that, and that's what these games are. They're full of these micro and mini games that can be quite addictive at times. And, well, I mean, these have been incredibly well received by everybody in general, at least the series, with like all the different Cooking Mama games out there, and Babysitting Mama even for the Wii, if anyone remembers that game. So, yeah, I mean, why not? And we actually got a 3DS game recently too, from Atlas. It's the Etrin Mystery Dungeon. This here being more of a strategy game than a traditional turn-based game like the others were, which is fine. Once again, this was more of a thing that my girlfriend picked up. I'm not as into strategy RPGs, although when I do pick them up and get invested, I do tend to get pretty invested. And most Atlas games I usually like too anyway. And this one came with a special book and music CD, and the special book is kind of like the manual would be, but also has like a little bit more art to it. And in the very back of it, they've actually put the CD in the book, which is kind of cool. And we're pretty big suckers for soundtracks too. So, you know, kind of pushes us to buy something when they include a soundtrack. And, you know, with such a cute design for all the characters and everything, I mean, how could you not? Now, we picked up a couple of other things too. Some PS2 and GameCube and Xbox Original even. We're going to start with a couple of the GameCube and PS2, pardon me. We got Unlimited Saga and Pikmin 2. Unlimited Saga I'd seen a friend play once, and the art style looked really interesting, and I saw this when we were out of town recently, and handed it to my girlfriend because, well, she's actually, for the most part, an artist, and she really liked the art style, so I thought it would speak to her, and it did, so we went ahead and picked it up. It was pretty affordable too, and it's in, you know, good shape with the exception of like a chip here in the case, but no like real issues with the manual or anything, so it was kind of cool. RPGs are always fun to get, especially when it's got Square Enix behind it. Even if they weren't the developer, they tend to publish good stuff too, or at least during the PS2 era they did. And for Pikmin 2, we got at a local store actually right when we got back from being out of town, and they had two copies of the game. One of them was the Player's Choice, a little bit beat up, and this one really nice and not beat up and not Player's Choice. And they had, you know, two different prices on them. Well, this one was actually marked as Pikmin, not Pikmin 2. So we paid about half of what Pikmin 2 would normally go for because of it. So that was kind of like forcing my hand to get it because I hadn't picked it up yet and I'd been meaning to. I just didn't want to drop the $40-ish they went for. So when I saw it at the $20 range, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. So, went with that. Now, these next two games, a PS2 and an Xbox Original, it just so happens that I picked up these when I did. That would be Deus Ex Conspiracy and Deus Ex Invisible Wars. I picked up Invisible War like a week before they announced the new Deus Ex, Mankind Divided. And so while we were out of town, I was like, maybe I can get the Conspiracy. And what do you know? I found one copy of it when we were out of town. This one particularly, is just really hard to find. Not expensive, just hard to find. So now I've got all of the console releases of the Deus Ex games, which is kind of cool. So maybe one of these days I'll just sit down and power through all the Deus Ex games in the order in which they were released. See how I can make them tie together myself. And we got one Xbox 360 game recently, and that would be an Atlas title called Spectral Force 3. The other two entries did not make it outside of Japan, to my understanding. And this is the first, of all things, the first turn-based strategy game I've seen that is like full 3D models as opposed to being the sprite or drawn artwork, at least for what I'm used to playing. I'm not including Fire Emblem because those have been like top tier. So it's kind of interesting because you see like Disgaea has all the hand-drawn or sprite-based stuff, even though they've got 3D environments and more power to work with. So this looks kind of cool seeing some detailed 3D models, and Atlas always has some interesting art styles that I like to look at, and they're pleasing to the eye, so that's always cool. Now we're on to the modern of the modern. We're going to start with a couple of Xbox One games. One of them being Zoo Tycoon. This actually was more so for my girlfriend. She wanted it. She's been wanting it. She enjoyed playing them on the PC. She actually still plays occasionally Zoo Tycoon 2 on PC. So this was kind of like, this is kind of the only game she really had interest in at all for the Xbox One near its launch. And I say that because it's only been a year. So it's still near launch to me. Or a year and a half, whatever. So yeah, we finally picked that up used. It took us a little while, but we got it. And this game I've played a little bit of, but I loved the previous game. And I've loved what I've played so far of this. And that's The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. I like the way the character is portrayed. I like the way the game looks. I like their fantasy world they built. There's very little about these games I don't like. They are great. So, yeah, I had no problem picking this one up. And actually, this was a birthday gift from my girlfriend, so I was very thankful for that. And I plan to play the hell out of this game. And among all the other great things that is with this series, they were nice enough to not only give you a real manual, but they gave a poster of the world map, some stickers, a thank you note to the gamers who purchased this, and a disc soundtrack. Once again, we love disc soundtracks. And they actually also say in the thank you note they're planning on releasing free DLC. So that's awesome. CD Projekt Red really knows how to take care of their fans. That's really cool. Now we're on to the PS4 games we've recently picked up. I'm going to start with one that my girlfriend wanted because she's a big fan of the Art Tenelico series and Rhapsody on PS1 DS, and that would be Omega Quintet. Of all things, a traditional turn-based RPG from Compile Heart on the newest of the new PlayStation games. Compile Heart has done almost nothing but action or real-time, more or less, based battle systems, stuff that involves you actually running around and hacking stuff. So when I heard this was a, classic-style turn-based game, I was kind of excited myself. I miss those. I mean, they allow you to think a little bit more, strategize a bit more, pick your tactics a little bit more, but without giving you, 20 people to worry about on the battlefield, like our turn-based strategy games do. So this is kind of cool to see, and, well, she likes idle games too, and the anime art style is always cute. So, this was kind of a no-brainer for us. And the final, but far from least important of the bunch, is a PS4 exclusive, Bloodborne. I liked Demon's Souls a lot. I was absolutely garbage at it, but I liked it a lot, and it was easy for me to keep playing at it because I could still take out some of the enemies. Dark Souls series, I had a lot of trouble getting into. mostly because it seemed like a vast open world with very little direction, so it gave me some trouble. But one of my friends described this game as being Demon Souls meets Devil May Cry, and I was immediately just like, okay, you sold me. Because Devil May Cry, I mean, some of the best action games I've ever played, and will probably ever play. Particularly 3 was a phenomenal game, so comparing this to one of my favorite action franchises, you sold me. So I'm kind of excited to get started on this, but I think I might wait a little bit, see if we're going to do anything special on the channels for Let's Plays. Maybe do a blind play. My friend that told me about it, or described it to me, has finished the game. I have played nothing. I've seen a couple of gameplay segments, but beyond that, nothing. So, who knows? We'll see what comes of that. So, that's our pickup video number 3 for 2015. What did you guys think of these games? Have you played them? What were your thoughts on them? Would you like us to play some of these games on the channel? I'm not opposed to it. My only request would be not to pick something incredibly long and forever taking, like some of the RPGs that I tend to buy. But, I mean, stuff that's got more action in it, that's not a problem. I just don't want to make a 100-hour series of videos. So yeah, like, comment, and subscribe, please. Because we've got some good stuff coming. I think you guys will like it. And actually, one more note before I go. If you guys are already subscribed, you may already know that we're doing a giveaway for this fantastic NES. Custom artwork drawn on it, custom paint on it, and a custom cutout with fogged glass with color-changing LEDs. Oh my gosh, this is a beautiful machine. It plays great, too. Of course, it's an old machine, so you may have to, wiggle the cartridge a little bit, but I mean, what do you expect? It's a 20, 30-year-old machine. These things still working is a godsend. And I'm so glad they still do, because, I mean, you see behind me, I have some games. So, check out the video. We're doing a giveaway on it. Subscribing to our channel gets you 1 entry. Liking our Facebook page gets you an entry, and sharing our post with the original announcement video on it gets you an entry. That's 3 free entries to win a custom NES machine. We will not be giving out AVs with it, or a power supply, because I've only got 1 set of original power supply and AVs. Well, AVs not so much, but the power supply, and we don't want to really give you off-brand stuff, because those have more issues than many others. So if you already have an NES, definitely check into it, because, I mean, it doesn't use any more power. It's all just, it's a fantastic machine. Enter, watch, comment, like, subscribe. Win!